we are highly critical of this new legislation. Many people believe it is all about the phrase Polish death camps, and this phrase in itself is, of course, insensitive, inaccurate, and many people find it offensive. But if this law was just about counteracting the usage of this phrase, that wouldn't really be a very big issue, I think. Actually, the law doesn't even mention this phrase. Its scope is much broader, in fact. It criminalizes any criticism of Polish responsibility or participation in any atrocities throughout history. Well, of course, that is impractical. Of course, every country's history, every nation's history has some darker pages that need to be discussed in an open way in a democratic society. So I think it has serious implications for the freedom of speech and for the way we actually talk about those difficult pages of history that Poland so far has discussed in a very open and frank way. So I think it is counterproductive to silence such discussions.
What was the level, from your point of view, from the historical point of view, of Polish complicity? We have to remember, don't we, that nearly 2 million Polish people who were not Jewish died during the German occupation in World War II. Mm-hmm. So the Poles were victims. That's an easy phrase to say. But what was the level of complicity with the anti-Semitic policies, the Jewish final solution?
Of course, Poland suffered enormously under the Nazi occupation, and of course millions of Jews, but also millions of ethnic Poles died during the Nazi occupation, and that must not be forgotten. Also, Poland had a very significant resistance movement against the Nazis. Having said that, well, of course, there were also instances of collaboration with the Nazis, and there were also instances of pogroms against the Jews. That's a fact that is well documented by a number of scholars, such as Jan Tomasz Gross and many others. So I think it is important to know about this complex history, and it is important to be able to talk about it and teach about it in a way that teaches us some universal lessons, not just in terms of approaching the past, but in terms of looking at the present and the future and the dangers of racism and anti-Semitism in our societies today.